Hey everybody, welcome back to the Metal Mill 52 workshop. My name is Bill, this is my shop. This is the LBSC Tich project, that 3.5 inch gauge locomotive that we've been building for the last 2 years basically. When I got this set of parts, it was a finished chassis, but and the axle driven pump was working, or built anyway. Um, a lot of the machining work of the wheels and all that stuff was done, so it was actually pretty easy, although I did have to take apart some of the things to put the eccentrics in to run the valves. The rest of it needed to be machined and assembled. So I think it's about 75 episodes in this series, and if you're just joining us, please enjoy. I documented the whole build. It's about a 2 year project, so I published a video sometimes once a week, sometimes 2 weeks, and it came out really cool. This episode, you're going to see it running on air and the whistle blowing, and a few other things, little interesting tidbits to kind of wrap up the project. But I've really enjoyed it. I hope you have too, or I hope you will enjoy it if you're just joining us. And I just wanted to say, it's funny, I made a comment before that the locomotive, this is a paint scheme I had in mind the whole time, and at the time I didn't realize it was kind of Christmassy, but it is. So anyway, you enjoy. Let me turn it around a little bit so you can get it from all angles. It weighs 22 pounds, completely assembled but dry, no water in the tanks, so about 11 kilograms. And it was a heck of a lot of fun to build. The book is called Simple Locomotive Building. It's not really that simple, but compared to a more complex locomotive, it is. So I see where they got the name, but it was a very cool project. I'm really excited that I built this thing. Looking forward to actually running it on a track someday. I may have to build the track for it, because there's no 3.5 inch gauge tracks anywhere near where I live. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and ask any questions. As always, ask any questions. Or if you don't have any questions but you enjoyed the video, just please give me a thumbs up. It's always encouraging to see that people acknowledge it that way. So thanks so much. We'll catch you next time. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody. Alright, since we have the locomotive running again, I thought this would be a good time, and the running boards are off, access to the chassis there. This would be a really good time to put the brake system back on. If you followed the series, it was one of the first things we did about 2 years ago, was build the brake system. So it's been waiting patiently for its turn, and it's a good time to reinstall it. So that's going to happen next. And what I'll do is I'll set up the camera and put it on time lapse. So, if you're interested, you can watch me do it. If not, it shouldn't take too long anyway. Well, I took down the time lapse photography because this was quite a chore, but I did get the brake system installed again, and I'm glad I did. Just, wish I would have never took it off, really, because it was a pain to install it. So now I'm preparing for putting everything back together, putting the running boards and the tanks back together. I've loosened this nut, and I put let me walk around here, I'll show you. I put the trickiest of all the tubes is this one that feeds the pump from the tank, and just the way that line is, it's loose here, but it's just a real pain to get that thing connected. That's why I loosened this line, to keep it out of the way. I might just take that all the way out to put the tank in. So anyway, you can see the brake system installed here, and it still goes around. Just a couple of final fitting things. So yeah, I think I'm going to take that line all the way out. And hopefully we'll start putting this thing back together. Alright, getting ready to put things back together. Here is the right hand side assembly with the running board, the tank, the whistle valve, and all that stuff. And there's the bypass valve. It's all installed and ready to go. I would say one thing. If I was to do this all over again, I would probably not do, although it looked like a nifty solution here, I probably wouldn't do this elbow just like I did. I'd probably, I don't know, maybe make that line a two-part line or something. So speaking of which, the reason I say that is it's just so cramped in there. Putting things together with the boiler off is no big deal, but with the boiler in place, it's kind of a pain. So I've loosened that one, the bypass line, very loose. It's finger loose now, so I can hopefully put this thing back together without taking the boiler off. That's kind of my objective. And let me show you one thing. See, I actually cut this 5/16 inch ignition size wrench in half so that I could reach those fittings underneath. So I'll fiddle with that and bring you back at the appropriate time. Well, I thought I would lay this thing on its side so that I could maybe get easier access to that fitting, but not this way anyway. I'll show you what fitting I'm talking about. Meanwhile, it is pretty cool looking, isn't it, though? I mean, this is like a steampunk creation dream, I guess. All this cool brass stuff. But this is the line, and this part is easy enough, obviously, but the fitting that goes into the tank is way up here, and I'm not really going to be able to access it this way. What I might try to do is flip it over. I just was looking for an easy way to get the fitting started on there and then tighten it down with it sitting right side up. And for somebody asked a while ago, I did weigh it. The unit fully assembled and dry weighs 22 pounds, or about 11 kilograms. So pretty substantial weight. All right, let's try flipping it over, see if that will help any. If you can see that, this is really bizarre, but it's working and I'm excited about it. So I'm getting the wrench is around the nut, and I actually can move it about 1/16 of a turn, and then what I do is flip it over and I can do another 1/16 of a turn. I've almost got it completely tight this way. What I think I may do when I finish this to make it a really useful tool for the future is drill a hole in here and make a little clevis and make an extension handle so that I can use this without the needle nose pliers. But right now I'm just trying to get the job done. Thought I'd show that. Could be a little handy, not quite ratcheting, but a handy way to get to really tight squeezed nuts in there in a steam locomotive. Alright, that worked perfectly. My little stubby wrench, homemade shortened wrench, worked perfectly to tighten the fitting up. This is the supply fitting, the bottom end of the connection from that we were working on before. So I've got that snugged up all the way. I've got the top side fitting snugged up. So now I just have to replace the bypass line fitting. And I guess I see some little screws here on the brake system I need to tighten up too, so that's an ideal chance to do that. Okay, I had to switch it around to the other side to get those screws tightened up, so I thought I'd shoot another video of the underside. A lot of cool stuff here. This has been a neat project, 2 years, and it was about a fourth done already. The boiler was made and the wheels and chassis were basically prepared, so it was quite a project. Looking forward to getting it all put back together. Well, just had to do one more thing tonight before I put this, put the left-hand tank back on. I did leak test this with some water, and there was a little dribble coming out underneath there from my little homemade union. So I just used some more of my fresh Permatex gasket sealer and sealed it up. Put a little on the outside and a little on the inside too. So I've got the lid screwed back on. I'm going to let that dry overnight. Gives me one more chance to go underneath and tighten up any of the lines that I took apart, and just make sure everything's snug. Then tomorrow night, if all goes well, I'll be able to reinstall this side. Taking care of odds and ends, I thought I'd show this. I went over on the brake system. There are a bunch of little screws and bolt nuts like that there's no lock washers on that could easily fall off. So what I did was put a little drop of blue. That's the blue Loctite. It's the least strong. And there's blue, the red, and the green. But the blue will hopefully will keep this from falling off. And I've snugged them up a little bit with my little wrench that I got from Blackgates Engineering Really glad I bought these things. They've come in handy for innumerable little odds and ends around this small locomotive. So we'll let it sit like this tonight, and hopefully tomorrow we will get a chance to put the other running board on. Alright, now that I got everything reassembled, the brake system is installed. We ran it once forward. I want to go ahead and run it in it's backwards. So I rotated the wheels so the slip eccentric should be firing backwards. Let me turn on some air and let us check it out and see how she looks. Alright, got about 50 psi here. Sweet! Happiness. Nice stack talk there. Not really feeling a lot of leakage or anything. Very, very happy. Alright, let's cut it off. Let's try rotating forward. Run it. Let's see how low the pressure. It's down to about 20 psi now. That's a good sign if it'll run smoothly on 20 psi. I'm going to keep it going. Holding steady at about 20. It's under 20 now. The whistle still blows. I love that. Alright. Down about 10 psi. Not bad at all. Alright. Hallelujah. Alright folks, I'm going to declare victory on this project. And this will probably be the last video for the Tich build series. Someday when we have time we'll run it with actual steam, some actual coal and stuff. I don't have any coal for it, and I don't have a track. There's no 3.5-inch gauge tracks anywhere close to where I live, so I'm thinking about building one because I want to actually build another, at least one 3.5-inch gauge locomotive because they're such a great size. I don't know if I said this before or not, but somebody asked and I did weigh it, and it weighs 22 pounds, so about 11 kilograms, and that's dry without any water in. Yeah, no water in the tanks or anything. So hope that answers that. As always, thanks for being part of the journey. Please ask any questions you might have, and I appreciate it, and I will keep you posted. Thank you. Hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody.